Jamaa wa sorbitol.
Sorbitol ni nani?
Yeah,
Eh,
sorbitol na inulin hapa.
na hizo unajua ziko huko mwisho. Saa hii ni kwenda mbio mbio, teke teke. Ni mob. Umepitia?
Nilikuwa nataka itakutake how long? Ni wewe unafanya carbs, si Sam?
Si ni mimi ndo nafanya carbs, mi and then Willy pengine atachipin.
Mimi kwa ndani ni Sam na wanafanya.
Hii.
Hizo carbs hizo kina sorbitol, alginic acid hizo.
Ziko huku mwisho.
Hizo tunafanya sahi.
Sasa unajua dhidi ya kufanya hizi kina mannitol, sorbitol, of which pia ni I think zitajirudia nani Pharmaceuticals ama
Wacha tuzirudie tu, hakuna there's no harm.
so tutaenda tu mbio mbio hizi kuanzia hapa. Actually ni kuanzia hapa hizi so nitapiga introduction mbio and then hapa hizi ndo hizi ndo hapa sugars and sugars containing drugs hizi kuanzia hapo unaona. Sasa hapa ndo watu wa industry wanaingilia
na una estimate how long?
45
and then Phenolic.
Sitapiga kila kitu juu hizi ndo sasa nani anataka tufanye unaona.
Starch
ni aga hizi because hizo kwa mwisho nani alishapitisha hizo magam nani alipitisha anaitwa nani divi
basi so ukimaliza hiyo watu waanze Phenolic.
Sasa ni introduce Phenolics nipige hadi hiyo complex Phenolics then utachukua from isoflavones.
Nitachukua nini?
Si from there ndo uta take over ama?
Ngoja nani unaniambia nitachukua.
Ni cheese.
Tutaanza 7. Nilisema 6:45 ndio 7 tuna nini? Tunang'oa nanga.
SN inakuanga nani?
SN. Si kuna buniani. SN.
Ni Samiha pengine.
Anajiona kujoin incognito. Hadi ya Kabaraka anaambiwa unmute alikataa. Samia unmute. Say something.
Say something, Samia.
Basi sinaona kama tutamanage. Cause mimi sijaona kama si tunatumia slides.
Tunatumia slides. But
sasa
nani at least unaona kama glycosides introduce at least unajua sasa tuweza tuna phenolic so ni kwa na basics like classification glycosides ni nini properties and then from there ndo itakuwa rahisi ndo hata mtu mwingine akikuja sasa aseme kadi ya glycosides. I think hapa kuna table nyingine poa niliona ama hii ni gani hii hapa so unaona sasa hizi zote hivi then tutasema tunachukua phenolic lexes though hiyo Slezerania amezifanya vizuri so under phenol kuna some of these ziko hapa pia na kama
hizo slides ziko fiti
actually alifanya kazi poa sana.
You're welcome.
Na wewe chai utachukua kitu ufanye bana. Si kuingia tu unaitwinga hapa alafu unaenda una doze. Na kutafuta nani?
Good evening to you too.
Tafuta inaitwaje? Tafuta mtura.
Msianadai. Lazima tupige
Wewe
hasa.
sema msianadai alafu nitekelezee hapo.
Kwa wingi.
Modified Bontrager's test. Wewe.
Bana, hizi vitu bana zilitulemea hizi bana.
Hiyo si ndio ya ni anthocyanins ama ni ya gani? Modified Bontrager.
Anthraquinone.
Anthraquinone, not anthraquinone.
Unajua bado kuna anthocyanins.
Kuna anthocyanins and complex phenols. But nimeona Simba hizi slides are so good. Manzi, I wish ningesoma senye alikuwa anafunza. I'm learning a lot.
Mazee, but ungekuwa umesahau.
But ale
Multimedia ni much better. Hizi zenye anapitisha nani? Itakuwa ngori.
Top.
Mwisho wa story. Then hii ndo ya this is for nani? Then you come here, they do
Pangilezi naona tuivisha hizi stuff.
Yes, ulikataa. Tumekubeg kwa group ukalenga hizo message.
Jana message yote.
Sionangi hiyo, lakini ingekuwa nani ungeona mpesa message.
Utatemesha uone.
Hai. Venye hiyo nani na record tu, ningesema kitu ufala. Itakuwa YouTube. Janet, hello. Hey Janet, mbona una mute alafu unasema shh?
Bana, nataka nikuwe famous kwa YouTube.
Anaitwa Janet Njiri, anaishi Thika. Nimekupatia free minutes of fame.
Thank you.
Ngoingwa.
Hey, come on.
Ngoingwa kwanza.
Your public information, your private information is now on YouTube.
Now public.
Mtu akitaka kujua kwenu ana play hii video.
Ukitaka hata na type namba yako hapa kwanza. Acha ni type.
Hata tunaweza isema 07.
My enemies are after me.
Kuna bahati sana Janet.
Kwa mwanzo
Ready when you are.
Ready. Guy, acha tu.
Unasemaje Janet?
Kuna kitu ulikuanga ufanye.
Sasa unaona Stano ameoverdo. Sasa siwezi.
Overdo nani?
Sanga kwa overdo bana.
Anakuwa mtiaji hivyo, imagine.
Mimi ni overdo nikifanya nini? Nime overdo. Hi Ankanja. Ankanja nisije kuona kitambo. Kanja an. Liting.
Unasemaje Stano?
Nilijua hata uweke madot ngapi, najua ni wewe tu.
Madot.
Eh,
Mi si madot.
esi madot.
Zi.
Oh,
ni
nadhani ni wewe. Oh, comfort.
Mimi ni
Na chill.
Pro Max.
Oh, wewe ni Spiderman. Mwenye hauna nani, hauna logo.
Chana
Wewe
kuna
ni
mwingine.
Imbo.
Huyu mwingine ndo Imbo.
Wewe ndo Spiderman Imbo. Sina content. Tunaweza anza.
Uanze sasa.
Sawa.
Olympia ameingia,
Hata
tulikuwa tunangoja.
Nani ameingia?
Olympia, nani tulikuwa tunangoja. So we can start.
Olympia.
Yeah.
Oh, kuna mtu anaitwa Olympia.
Manze.
Olympia B.
Na Samsung.
Nice. Hello to everyone.
Share.
Olympia, umesemaje?
Endelea.
So ladies and gentle ladies, asubuhi we started with carbohydrates, so I'll just do a quick recap, a quick one design board. So I have to acknowledge first, these are not my notes. We'll be using notes that were prepared by Dr. Jared Onyancha Misongi, and then later on we'll touch on phenolic glycosides, and I'll use a textbook of pharmacognosy and phytochemistry and combine with trees and Emerson pharmacognosy. So that's a disclaimer, these are not my notes. So in case in the YouTube waseme nilitumia notes zao, these are not my notes. So carbohydrates classifications are mainly they have two major categories, the sugars and non-sugars. But so when you start with the non-sugars, we'll have monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, based on the number of carbons, atoms. And then for the monosaccharides, we have pentosans and hexosans. And then for the oligosaccharides, we'll be able to appreciate the filling tests, which is able to detect the reducing and non-reducing sugars. So for the non-sugars, we'll have polysaccharides that are later on subdivided into pentosans and hexosans. And then for the polyuronides, we have the hemicellulose, pectins, gums, mucilage. So this was covered by Divya. So shall we start now? So these are basically just properties of sugars. I'll just touch on few. Very soluble in water, optically active. They have the L and D forms. So they are also low in molecular weight sugars. So that just basics. We are not supposed to be doing this. For the non-sugars, we have they have high molecular weights. They are water insoluble and they're tasteless, as the word suggests, non-sugars. So you'll just know it from there. They're tasteless. So for the classifications, we said that they're based on either number of carbons, functional group type, number of basic building blocks that are involved. So, but as you've seen that we have two broad groups, the sugars, which are monosaccharides, and then sugars, which are polysaccharides. So these are the broad categories. But so these details are more of biochemistry. These are more of biochemistry. So but we can just appreciate these, that monosaccharides, they have carbon atoms that range from 3 to 9, but the ones that usually accumulate in the plants, they are the 5 and the 6 carbon. So for the 5 carbon, we call them pentoses, and the 6 carbon, we call them hexoses. So that's basic organic chemistry. So Yeah, so for those that exhibit a ring formula, the 5-membered ring will refer it as a furanose, and 6-member ring will refer it as a pyranose. So I think this was where Dr. Bate was shine. So glucose is an aldehyde group, has an aldehyde group, and it is therefore called an aldose. So, and then fructose is a ketose. So maybe this can be an MCQ. Glucose, we said it's an aldehyde, and then fructose is a ketose. Yeah. So Divya covered these. The di, tri, and tetra. Yeah. So just from the number, di is 2, tri is 3, tetra is 4. Right. So these are we can cram. Hii ilikuwa inakuja sana MCQs huko USIU. So for the maltose, we know that it's alpha 1,4, and then cell bios it's beta 1,4, and then trehalose it's alpha 1,1. So but this one is an unreducing sugar. So maltose it's alpha 1,4, cell bios is beta 1,4. Yeah, these are disaccharides. So some of the examples of disaccharides, we have the common one, we have sucrose, maltose, lactose, and upon hydrolysis for sucrose, it yields glucose and fructose. For maltose, we have glucose and glucose. So glucose plus glucose is maltose. Glucose plus fructose is sucrose. Lactose is a product of glucose and galactose. Yes, those are the. So now we'll begin from here, sugars and the sugars that are containing drugs. So these are the sugars. So we'll go one by one. So for the sucrose, other name is also known as saccharum. Biological sources that are there. Just pick one, like one from sugarcane. It's called saccharum officinarum. So production of glucose, of sucrose from sugarcane and from sugar beet. So from the pharmaceutical uses of sucrose, be able to appreciate that it's one of the key ingredients in the formulation of cough syrups, which relieves inflammation or irritation and nutrient. But also other than that, it has organoleptic properties that are able to mask tests which are not palatable. So that's why you get that they are used in lozenges and tablets which are a bit sugary. So sucrose also has a property which is bacteriostatic and preservative. So we know that cough syrup, hiyo tunajua it's that one is common knowledge for organoleptic properties, and also let's appreciate the bacteriostatic and preservative aspect. So for the dextrose, the sources of dextrose, we have grapes and other fruits. So also hydrolysis of starch and certain glucosides. So for the uses, uses you have food, orally, enema, subcutaneous, intravenous. So these are the different routes of administration, and then that it's used to replenish nutrients in form of injection and dextrose and sodium chloride injection. So also it's an ingredient in anticoagulant preparations for storage of whole blood. So this is a unique one. So you know that dextrose can be used as an ingredient in the preparations of anticoagulants. So in the food industry, it's used in preparation of candies, carbonated beverages, ice cream, and etc. So liquid sucrose, biological source is cornstarch, and uses, as the word suggests, sucrose. It's a sweetening agent. It's a binder, and you can substitute this for sucrose. There's liquid sucrose associated with the sucrose in syrups. So we'd seen that previously. So calcium gluconate, calcium salt. So yeah, it can be used in these calcium gluconate is used to replenish electrolytes. So it can also be used in ferrous gluconate, so calcium gluconate and ferrous gluconate. So we know that lactose is from milk. That one is a bit obvious. So yeah. And then lactose uses it's a tablet diluent. Yeah, it's more of diluent. The other one is more of nutrition. Than that it establishes intestinal microfluidics, especially the fermented milk, which is yogurt. It contains lactobacilli, which is a very nice prebiotic. So xylose, other name is xylose or wood sugar. This one is a pentose. Uses it has been approved for as a diagnostic agent, which is used to evaluate intestinal absorption. Yeah. So we have seen that this diagnostic agent can be able to, to diagnose these conditions such as Crohn's disease, pellagra, and other likes. Yeah, honey is a preservative. So yeah, so other uses of honey is it has a laxative action. I didn't know that. Nutrient, and also it's used as a vehicle to deliver some of these drugs, such as syrups, which are cough preparations. And now we go to oligosaccharides. I'm taking you mbio because we had covered some of these, but the main thing that the main aspect of carbohydrates that are supposed to cover is we're going to see it in a few. So oligosaccharides, we have the drugs containing compounds that are metabolically related to sugars. So they're divided into two, A and B, as you have seen. Products with of glycolytic and oxidative metabolism. We have the juices, malic and citric acid, which are the acids and alcohols, and then products of reductive metabolism, so glycolytic and reductive. So here we have sorbitol, mannitol, and dulcitol. So we just go one by one. So it said the first one is product of glycolytic and oxidative metabolism. So we have the juices here. So we have the juice. So we have the cherry juice, or the other name is Sacca cerasi. Preparation of malic syrup, vehicle which it's used basically as an organoleptic property. And then, so that is cherry juice, and then raspberry. We are seeing raspberry there, which is it's a flavorant, right? See, flavorant. That is raspberry. And then for the plant acids, we have the citric acid, lactic acid, and tartaric acid. Sour. For the citric acid, so it's an alkalizer, you're seeing here. And then we also have in anticoagulant, we have the citrus dextrose solution. So pharmaceutically, we've seen that it's an alkalizer, and it's used in the anticoagulation. So we've seen here, these are the vacutainers which which are used to temporarily store blood after, after withdrawal with phlebotomy. So citric acid, you can see as an anticoagulant in the anticoagulant, and also system alkanizer. So we have sodium citrate and the anticoagulant. For the lactic acid, it's obtained from fermentation of sugars or can be prepared synthetically. So pharmaceutically, it's used as electrolyte replenisher. So we have the sodium lactate injection, and also you can replenish the calcium. So the last one is tartaric. So remember, we started with citric, then we went to lactic, then we at tartaric. So, and then just to brush off, it said that these are product of glycolytic and oxidative metabolism. So we did the juices, cherry and raspberry, and then we did citric acid, which is we've just seen that in atomic for in these vacuoteners and as a system alkanizer. And then for lactic, we've said that it's used as an electrolyte replenisher, both calcium and sodium. Now we're at tartaric. Yeah, tartaric. Product of wine, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if tartaric is part of ferrous. I'll confirm, then I'll let you know, guys. I don't want to lie. So I'll confirm with tartaric. So for now, we've seen that the product of glycolytic, we said that we have the juices, the acids and the alcohol. So now we're going to the alcohol. Alcohol is pretty basic. We know this. Yeah, I've seen one here. It's anti-infective, and then can also be a solvent for alcohol. So we're done with that part of glycolytic. So glycolytic, we said that there are juices which have seen raspberry and cherry, and then for the acid we have seen citric, tartaric, and lactic. And then for the alcohols, we've just seen alcohol and ethanol, which I've seen that it has an anti-infective properties and also for used as solvent. So now we are going to the other category, which is the products of reductive metabolism. So here we're able to appreciate the mannitol, sorbitol, and dulcitol. So for the mannitol, you know that the first thing when you hear mannitol, just needs an osmotic diuretic. This one is straightforward, osmotic diuretic. Yeah, that's one of the most important feature of mannitol. It's an osmotic diuretic. Yeah, we'll see this when you're doing pharmacology, clinical pharmacy. So take home message for mannitol, osmotic diuretic. Yeah. Yeah. So sorbitol. Sorbitol also can be used as osmotic laxative. Is used to soften the stool, which manages constipation. So these are the products. I've never seen one, but Sobo, Probilagol. And then you have iron sorbitol injection that which has iron, sorbitol, and citric acid, and can be used as a hematinic. Hematinic basically the products for that are used to manage conditions that related to iron deficiencies, anemia. So for sorbitol, I've said it's a osmotic laxative, and also it has it's a hematinic. It's, you know, it can be used in the hematinic preparations. So polysaccharides containing drugs, this is where now we were supposed to do, just touch a bit. So polysaccharides, we've seen that you have the starch, inulin, or also referred as synitrin, dextran, cellulose derivatives, gums. From here, I don't think we'll do much because this was covered. Yeah. So polysaccharides, some of the properties, we have seen that they're complex, high molecular weights. The important classes in these polysaccharides, there are three. You have hexosans, which we have the glucosan, which is starch, fructanant, which is inulin. And then for petosan, remember these are five carbon, hexosan is 6. So we have xylose and arabinose. For the polyuronides, we have the hemicellulose, which is gum, mucilage, and pectins. So shall we? So we start with hexosans. As I've said, it's 6 carbon. We have the fructosans, which is fructose, basically inulin. Yeah. And then pentosan is 5 carbon. And then we have arabinose, xylose, ribose, and deoxyribose. So the importance of these polysaccharides in the pharmaceutical industry. So it's a commercial plant that are able to derive fibers and products of cotton. Then so you're able to find these products, alginates, colloids, which are used as dressings for wounds and stopping bleeding. Alginates, basically, these are mostly used in gastroprotective alginates. So yeah, we have there. So we'll not touch on these slides. Just come to yeah, from here. So fructans, which we said one of the fructans is inulin. Inulin. So inulin. So we have plants that store these carbohydrates in form of inulin, and then some of these plants, they are mainly vegetables and fruits, which we have been given an example. We have the onions, leek, garlic, bananas, asparagus, and these Jerusalem artichokes, which I've never seen. So what's this called? Property, it's less soluble than oligofructose, and it is smooth with a creamy texture. So inulin and oligofructose are not able, humans are not able to digest it. So, but they are totally fermented by colonic microflora, so it's prebiotic. So it can be used as a prebiotic because it's not able to be digested. So it is not metabolized. So it's once you excrete it to the body, it's always unchanged. So the other one is cellulose, which it's So commercial plant derived fibers and products, cellulose and products arising from cellulose. So the products arising from cellulose, you have the cotton subs, which are used in the management of bleeding, closure of wounds, cleaning of wounds. So that's pretty basic. Yeah, I've just stated this, that the importance of these fibers. One of them is cotton, which this is a surgical dressing, manufacture of artificial fibers, and hemostatic dressings. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think kwingine ilikuwa we're supposed to cover. Yeah. So as a summary, let me go to that table.
Stan, let me just ask clarification. You said cotton is used for surgical dressing.
Sorry?
You said cotton is used for surgical dressing.
Yeah, the products.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome. Welkizo. Yeah, so this basically I've covered this in that short time. Yeah, so guys, do you have anything to add? Ama naitwa nani? Sorry, Willy.
We can open the floor to anyone who has something to add, or drugs containing carbohydrates. Perhaps on my side, I can start with number one, the gum and the mucilages, because we group them together, but gum is as a result of injury, but the mucilage is a normal stuff in the plant. You'll produce gum when you injure the plant, cut it. Yeah. But as for the other one, it's just when it's produced normally by the plant. Yeah. Then the other thing about starch, just think of starch when you add water to starch really expands. Like it expands literally. It occupies a bigger space, and that's one of the major role of starch in the industry. It's used as a disintegrant in tablets. Yeah. Then for the gums and mucilages, because of their sticky nature, right? Think of it as a sticky nature. They'll be used more as binders. I think that's all I have to add on my side. But
yeah,
if anyone else has something else they can add.
Anyone else can add. And then we can take a break for 5 minutes, then we start with glycosides. So we'll be back at 35.
Oh, Stano.
Hey.
Oh, mmesemaje? I was...
Tunaanza, tumechukua break ya 5 minutes then 7:35.
Oh,
Tuanze-
7:35. Meanwhile, utakuwa unafanya nini? Between now na
Meanwhile, ushaisikia majimaji uprising wewe?
si ni mimi nilichochama jamaa.
So for those who don't know majimaji uprising, these are, it was a group of people that thought they would fight the Germans by seeking spiritual help from their leader. Alikuwa anaitwa Kinjekitile Wangwale ama anaitwa nani?
Kinjekitile Ngwale.
Basi. But Jasmila anaweza tuelezea story vizuri.
By that Jasmila is here. Anaweza tuambia about Majimaji Rebellion. Maybe even there is a relation with Kinjekitile.
Really?
We don't know.
Kinjekitile Alhaji.
Where, Kuma? Kinjekitile was like all the way Karibu southern TZ. Mi niko north.
Unaona, we didn't know this.
Now Jasmila sasa walibelieve aje the bullets was able to
water. They believed when they get shot, the bullets would turn into water. Wakaenda wakaangushwa. Very sad.
Need something to believe in. No, I'm training for karaoke. Mjue kuna prizes na nishari
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so are you guys able to see my screen?
Sasa mzee.
Letting. Chai. Hello. Are you guys able to hear me?
Like you're in the next room. Like you're in the next room.
Nice. So we start with glycosides. Then we'll go into details with phenolic and phenolic glycosides. So the notes that we're going to use are from Professor Jared Misonge. And then we'll also use textbook of pharmacognosy and phytochemistry. And then we'll at some point we'll use Trees and Evans, sorry. So glycosides. So glycosides, these are organic compounds, usually mostly they occur in plants. This is the definition here. And some animals. And these compounds, when they are hydrolyzed, they form two major compounds, glycone and aglycone. The glycone is more of sugars, and it's in beta form, and then the aglycone is non-sugar, which is also referred as genin. So when you hydrolyze glycosides, you form glycone and aglycone. The glycone is the sugar, and the aglycone is non-sugar. So the aglycone is also referred as genin. So basically, that's glycoside. So you're able to. You can also define as a substance that which has a glycosidic bond, a glycoside. So as I've said, we have the glycone and aglycone portions, and upon hydrolysis, in the presence of acid. So the acid that is usually used is HCl. So when you hydrolyze these glycoside, you'll be able to, in the presence of HCl, you'll be able to form two portions, the glycone and aglycone. Glycone, as I've said, is the sugar moiety, and aglycone is the non-sugar moiety, which is also referred to as a genin. So yeah, this is what I've just said. So the sugars that are found in the glycoside may be glucose, rhamnose, and deoxy sugars such as saccharose, which is found in cardiac glycosides. So take home message from glycoside: upon hydrolysis, we form glycone and aglycone. Glycone is the sugar moiety, aglycone is the non-sugar. Aglycone is also referred to as a genin. And then glycoside they undergo hydrolysis in the presence of acid, which is HCl. So also, as I stated previously, the sugars which are present in the glycoside, we have two mainly isopheric forms. We have the alpha form and the beta form, but the sugar has the beta form. So classifications of these glycosides we have on the basis of glycosidic linkage. There are 4 categories. We have the O-glycosides, which the sugar molecule is combined with a phenol. Spider, question? I've seen
yeah. I wanted to ask, could you remind us how we were saying that one sugar is not one sugar, like saccharides and all this, why we were saying one is alpha, one is beta, like there was that stuff, they are numeric carbon. If you've gone through it, or if you've not gone through it, anyone who remembers how, yeah.
I have not gone through that, but maybe anyone can chip in.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, when we say if it's a beta sugar, the OH on the anomeric carbon, which is C1, is facing up.
So beta was up.
Yes, and alpha was down.
Beta. Okay. Okay, beta up.
Thank you so much, Hiral, Dr. Hiral Vagela.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
I will see you guys. So yeah, as you've seen, so tumesema beta is up, then alpha is down. They are numeric carbon. So the C that is attached to the OH that is attached to the C, it's beta, and when it's down, it's alpha. So saying classification of the glycosides, we have three major ways of classification: the basis of glycosidic linkage, on the basis of a glycon, and the basis of chemical. Yeah, we see that. So for the glycosidic linkage, we have four major subdivisions. We have the glycoside, which is started. So the sugar molecule usually is combined with a phenol or a OH group. So example, we've seen that we have the cardiac glycosides and the anthraquinone glycosides, such as senna, the senna plant. So N, it's the sugar molecule is combined with an amino group. So example, we have the nucleosides, deoxyribose, yeah. So and then the X glycosides, it's a thiol. The sugar molecule is combined with a thiol. An example is a acidic green. And then the other classification is C glycoside, of which the sugar molecule is usually directly attached with the C atom of the glycon. So an example we have seen, it's anthraquinone glycoside, such as aloin or flavin glycosides. So these are basically straightforward. O is phenol, N, it's amino, S is thiol, then C is C. Sawa? Haya. So we have another classification. Let me just they have not. So yeah, so this classification is based on the chemical group. These are the various glycosides based on the chemical group. So we can see, but we'll be able to go through them in detail. So we have like saponins, we have the cardiac glycosides, anthraquinones, phenol, and all these cyanogenetic. So we'll be able to go through them one by one in the future classes. So for today, the class was based on the phenolic glycosides, but I just want us to have a rough idea of what glycosides are and the classifications. And yeah, so some of the properties we've seen that they are colorless except for flavonoid, which is usually yellow, and anthraquinone is red and or orange. So upon hydrolysis, they give a positive test for fillings, but usually this is because of the part of the the fillings test. It's used for reducing and unreducing sugars. And then we have the Molish test. And then the glycon part is water soluble, but it's soluble in organic solvent. A glycon, so I'll just tell you to just pick one, because if you cram the two, you'll be able to get confused. So for, let's say, glycon, it's water soluble and insoluble in organic solvents. Then the opposite will be true. So a glycon is water insoluble and then soluble in organic solvents. So we'll just go with one. Glycon, water soluble. As you know, the sugars are water soluble, but they're going to be insoluble in organic solvents. So most of them, they usually have beta tests, except propylene and stevioside. Stevioside, these natural what's called flavorant that's usually called stevia, that it's a substitute for sugar, but it's natural. And then you have this glycyrrhizin. And then it's odorless except saponin, which is glycyrrhizin. So take home message: glycosides, upon hydrolysis, they give birth. They form two portions. We have the sugar, which is glycon, and non-sugar, which is a glycon, which is also referred to as a genin. So, and then we've said that the sugar part is usually in beta form, and we've said that beta, the OH that is attached to the anomeric carbon is usually up. So that's why beta. For alpha is down. So, and then we've classified based on the glycon portion. We have said that there are 4 categories. We have said the O glycosides, N glycosides, S glycosides, and the C glycosides. And then based on the chemical group, we have seen these categories. Yeah. So I think with that introduction, we'll be able to go to slides. Yeah, slides. So a bit of repetition, but there's no harm with this. So glycosides is a composition of sugar plus non-sugar part, glycon and a glycon. By now you'll be seeing this definition. The glycon part is genin. For the sugars, it can be glucose, galactose, rhamnose, Yeah. So as I said previously, there are 3 major classifications. We have said based on the aglycon. We have seen based on the chemical composition. Now we can also classify glycosides based on the sugars, the sugary portion. So we can say we have glucose, galactose, rhamnose. We can also have one here. It's called digitox. Let me type it. Digitox, which give rise to digoxin. Yeah. So that's another classification. Sawa. Yeah. Shall we now? Is more of biochemistry. We start with biosynthesis of these phenolics or phenolic glycosides. So the two main pathways that are used for the biosynthesis of these phenolics, they're usually shikimic acid pathway and malonic acid pathway. But for the plants, they usually use the shikimic acid pathway. So mujue hiyo shikimic acid pathway. They used to test this also a lot in chemistry. So the precursors for the shikimic acid pathway, we have tyrosine or phenylalanine. So remember that shikimic and malonic. Shikimic is usually important in plants, and then malonic are important in fungi. Why malonic? Because we've seen that phenol glycosides can be also found in animals such as fungi, but majorly in plants. So these are the pathway that will be able to go through over time. So role of phenolics or phenolic derivatives, they act as a defense against UV radiation, pathogens, parasites, predators. Those are these for the plant. So they also contribute to the colors that you've seen in plants. So as you've said, yellow The yellow coloring matter as a result of flavonoids, and then the red coloring matter as a result of anthraquinones. And then for aesthetics, attract pollinators, such as colorants. So they are also partially responsible for the overall organoleptic properties, such as which is flavorant properties in food. So yeah, the same example I have camphor, menthol, eugenol, the organoleptic properties. So classifications. So classifications of phenol. I'll use this illustration. So this is where now we start this this discussion. So they are categorized into simple, either simple or complex. For the simple, we have the benzoic acid derivatives, cinnamic acid derivatives, and then for the complex, we have the flavonoids, tannins, and stilbenes. And then for the flavonoids, we have the flavanones, flavones, flavans, and anthocyanins. So I'll give you like 1.5 minutes so you can look at this classification, and then I'll take. So just take a minute to go through it. So now we'll continue. I guess you have seen that. So we'll go to the classifications. So seen in that table, we have said that they are simple phenols, which are classified as benzoic acid derivatives and cinnamic acid derivative. So for the simple now, so So for the simple, we come here. We have the benzoic and the cinnamic, yeah. So for the simple, as I said, we have the benzoic acid derivatives, which they have a structure of C6 to C1. And then we have these examples like vanillic acid, gallic acid, and salicylic. Yeah, we can get like 2 or 3 examples from these benzoic acid derivatives. So we've said vanillic acid, gallic acid, salicylic acid, and syringic acid. So these are the plants that you can get these benzoic derivatives. So we have like Lonicera japonica, Morus alba, and the likes. So we go to the cinnamic acid derivatives, which is such as hydrocinnamic acid, and this is C6 to C3. The one you saw that is C6 to C1. So they are usually from phenyl propanoids. The most common one are we have the caffeic acid, synapic acid, ferulic acid, and the epicumaric acid. So simple, the classification based on the phenolic derivatives, the phenolic glycosides, it said simple, which simple we have basically two. We have the benzoic acid derivatives and the cinnamic acid derivatives. You have seen that from the benzoic acid derivatives, they have examples such as gallic, vanillinic, and the salicylic acid. So, and then for the cinnamic, we've seen that they are from phenyl propanoids, which are example, we have the caffeic acid, ferulic acid, and synapic acid. So the epicumaric acid, which is example of a cinnamic derivative here, acid derivative. Where do we find it? We find it in spinach, sugar beets, cereal buns, and whole grains. For the synapic acid, we get it from broccoli, kale, leafy, brassicas, and citrus juices. And then for the phenylacetic acid, we have phenylacetic acid, lisacid. No, let's focus on these two and the sources. So emphasis again, simple phenolics. We've said that there are 2 derivatives. They have the benzoic acid derivative and the cinnamic acid derivatives. We gave examples for the benzoic acid derivatives. We gave examples such as gallic acid, salicylic acid, and vanillic acid. And then we went to cinnamic acid derivatives. We gave examples such as caffeic acid, and then epicumaric acid, and the likes. So we are done with the simple phenolics. So now we start with the complex phenolics. So just to be at par, we've said plant phenolics, we have the simple category and the complex category. For the simple, we've just done benzoic acid derivatives and the cinnamic acid derivatives. So now we'll start with the complex. And we'll see that there are different categories under this. So for the complex phenolics, so these are compounds which have more than one phenolic hydroxylic group. So we'll start with the flavonoids. Again, it's important. Let me just go to that classification because it's a bit simple. So for the complex, is that we start with the flavonoids. Sawa? Haya kabisa. Haya complex, we said that flavonoids. So these are the most abundant polyphenols. And we've said that complex, how do you define complex phenolics? It said that there are compounds which they have more than one phenolic hydrolic group. So we can just say they're polyphenols. So these are the flavonoids are the most abundant polyphenols. So they are subgroups of flavonoids. So these are the subgroups. We have the anthocyanins, 1. 2, we have the flavonols. Give the difference, flavonols. We have flavonols, and then we have flavanols, and then we have flavonones, and then we have flavanones, and then isoflavonones. So maybe 1.5 minutes to just look at these 6 subgroups of flavonoids, because these are going to be the building blocks of these now. Glycosides, these are the largest, it has the largest content. So 1.5 minutes, you appreciate that, and then we'll continue. Thank you so much for your patience. I'll repeat again the summary for those who are a bit sleepy ama misikia njaa kidogo. So before we start flavonoids, we'll go back to this. Just go back to this hadi ingie vizuri, mtanichukia leo. So plant phenolics, it said that there are 2 major categories, simple and complex. Tukaenda benzoic and cinnamic. Examples tukapeana benzoic and cinnamic derivatives. And then for the complex, tumesema tuko na flavonoids, which now they have different subgroups, which we have just stated. So tukaenda simple phenolics, tukaanza na benzoic acid derivatives, at least examples kama 3 tu: vanillic acid, gallic acid, and salicylic acid. But now if you want to be a very good student, just quote all of them, the examples. But for us, just say vanillic acid, gallic acid, and salicylic acid, benzoic acid derivatives. And then for the cinnamic acid derivatives, we said caffeic acid, we can say synapic acid and picoumaric acid. We said, and then we have appreciated the different sources of these, some of them. For the picoumaric, ukitaka picoumaric acid, just a lot of spinach, sugar beets, and cereal bran, the whole grain. And then for synapic acid, we just eat a lot of broccoli, kale, and leafy brassicas. But it is only for kina Tevin top. So so we start the complex phenols. So complex phenols, tumesema the most abundant polyphenols. Why the polyphenol part? We said that complex phenols, basically they are compounds that have more than one phenolic hydroxyl group. So it refers to them as polyphenols. The subgroups now, again, anthocyanins, flavonols, and flavonones, and also we have isoflavonones. So shall we now? First subgroup, anthocyanin. So we'll see the next category. I think the difference somewhere. So let's just say we have a positive charge in the C ring, and maybe they'll bring, you never know. So for anthocyanin, they have a positive charge in the C ring. We have seen here. So anthocyanins as introduced, they're responsible for some of these colors that we have in the fruits. So some of the colors we have red, blue, purple, and violet. Sawa? Haya. So ukiona tu fruits zenye ziko colored, ukienda supermarket, just know that these are anthocyanins. That you can go to the counter and then tell them that I need some anthocyanin fruit. They're able to tell. So you've seen that we have the pomegranate, we have an apple, we have the berries. This is zingine, I don't know the fruits, but I know the fruits. Yeah. Anthocyanin also, they are responsible for the flower color. So properties of these anthocyanins, they have antioxidant property, which it is hepatoprotective and anti-inflammatory. So it also has protection against cancer. So we've seen that some of these fruits or vegetables that have these anthocyanin, have the red pepper, fruits such as tomatoes, apple, which is red. We have a red apple, green apple, and then we're supposed to eat with the coats. And then raw nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals, basically, these are nutrients that are derived from these vegetables that are basically used in quotes to aid in treatment. So it can be used in treatment. So the next part we have, also let's appreciate hibiscus. Hibiscus also inakuanga na anti-inflammatory properties. That's why most of us will take hibiscus tea. So the next category B, we have flavanol. So we've just done anthocyanins. Anthocyanins, summary, tumesema ni they have the coloring part of the fruits and the flowers. So some of the colors have the red, blue, violet, hizo zote. Fruits, tumeona we have pomegranate, apples, tomatoes, and all that. Properties, tumesema iko na anti-inflammatory properties, anti-cancer properties, and also using nutraceuticals. Anthocyanins, subgroup A, part of flavonoids. Flavonoids is a complex phenolic glycoside. So thank you so much. So we now go to flavonol. So for the anthocyanin, we saw that it has positive charge here, but hii ingine haina positive charge, but the structures are similar. Yeah, they're similar. They're saying that the structures are very similar to those of anthocyanin, but it does not have the positive charge and not double bonds in the serine. So we have this difference. So positive charge, no positive charge. So here haina double rings, hii iko na double rings. So flavonoids, now we have a bit of different chemicals that you can get from flavonoids. We have the catechin, epicatechin, and these are just repetition. We have the catechin and epicatechin. So these are found in green tea, cocoa powder, red wine, and also this more of biochemistry, but just know that these flavonoids, we have the catechin and epicatechin. So when you take green tea, just know that unapiga flavanol pale. So flavonoids in green tea. So green tea usually has high levels of flava-3, or such as epigalo, catechin gallate. So just know that green tea, this is the mambo yote. So, and then just to put a disclaimer, green tea does not cause fat loss or weight loss, but it just increases metabolism of your body. So it's that's it aids in fat breakdown. So usiambie mtu akunywe green tea and then kesho atanani ata lose weight, just an associate. So properties of these epigallocatine gallate, which is in green tea. It's a powerful antioxidant, has beneficial effects on cardiac health, immunity, and longevity. And then when you roast, the levels of flavonoids, they decline. So maybe they know how to do this in the manufacturing. So flavonoids tumesema majorly, when you compare the difference, haina positive charge, na the C ring does not have double bonds. And then you have seen that flavonoids, they have two categories, have the catechin and epicatechin, which you have seen the epigallocatechin gallate is one that is found in green tea. And the one green tea, the properties of the green tea, you have it's an antioxidant, cardioprotective, also has plays a major role in the immunity, longevity, and also when you roast these flavonoids, then it decreases the levels of monani. So it can also be beneficial with diabetic patients, hypertensive patients, and also patients that suffer from cancer, because you've seen that it has an antioxidant property. So inflammatory diseases such as arthritis, so antioxidant property inaingiliana hapo. So flavonoids, so tumeanza na anthocyanins tukaenda flavonoids, now in flavonoids. Anthocyanin tumesema ni iko na the coloring part of most of the fruits, such as red, blue, violet. So that's why I've seen pomegranate, apple, because we have seen tomatoes. We can also put what is this called, watermelon, and others. We have seen that anthocyanins tumesema it has different properties. Tukasema iko na it can be used in diabetic patients. It can serve as an anti-inflammatory and other examples. So tukaenda kwa flavonoids. Flavonoids ndo tumeona majorly haina the positive charge as you compare to anthocyanins, and then the C ring does not have the double bonds. And also in flavonoids, you've seen the role of epigallocatechin gallate, which is present in green tea, and you've seen that the properties of that, you have the antioxidant, it has anti-cancer properties, it has it can be used in diabetic patients and hypertensive patients. Now we're in the third category, which is flavonoids. So flavonoids, this is mostly biochemistry too, but we can see so let's appreciate the difference. Flavonoids, in these groups, it has these groups. Let me highlight. Flavonoids here. This is the major difference. Yeah. Sawa. So flavonoids hapo ndo tunapata quercetin. Sawa. So the most abundant flavonoid in diet and is found in hundreds of herbs and food. So ukitaka kukaranga pale your beef ama chicken, unatumia onions, just know kesho ama leo ukipika jioni, ukiona tu onions sema quercetin. And onions is also referred as allium sativum. Very rich in quercetin. Very rich in quercetin. Mzae unasemaje? So quercetin.
Tumesema tukipika tuseme quercetin.
Bas, unapika?
Naoda.
Sawa. Haya. Quercetin. So quercetin tafadhalini jueni ni vitunguu. Haya, so na ujue vitunguu it has antioxidant properties. So wenye tumeona hizi ukisema tu anti-inflammatory, antioxidant huwezi kosa mahali, huwezi kosa mamark mahali, but sasa it has also in the anti-inflammatory property, it's protective against the liver and also cancer. So flavonoids are usually found in all glycosides. As a revision, tulisema glycosides zinaweza kuwa classified into 3 major categories, and one was the based on the glycan part. Na glycan part tuliona glycosides, tukaona the N which is amino, tukaona S which is the thiol, na tukaona C that is attached, the sugar moiety is attached to a carbon atom. Sawa. So hiyo ni another example. So so tumemaliza flavonoids. Tumesema flavonoids, quercetin, onions anti-inflammatory liver. So ukienda kwa mama wa kibanda upatie onions, jua mazee anakusaidia na liver. Na say you go and damage now by drinking alcohol, cheap liquor. Please dissociate from yourself from cheap liquor. So now the next category is flavones. Flavones difference. Let's see if we highlight. So tuko na flavonoids and flavones. So hapa Yasoda akikuja tafurahia sana, but sasa tufurahi. So hiyo ndo difference. So we say that they are similar to flavonoids, but not so widespread. But without the oil, there's no longer an OH group at position 3 in the central chair. So we have just seen this. Hapa. Hii OH imekuwa imetolewa hapa kwa flavones. Sawa? Haya. So flavones tuko na apigenin. Apigenin na luteolin. So luteolin are found for sweet red pepper. So they both act as signaling molecules which induce node factors in compartment reaction in rhizobium bacteria. So unajua hizi factors ndo zinaenda zinaform hizi nitrogen kwa wapi hizi manodules huku chini. So hizi apigenin na luteolin zinasaidia in the formation of zikinteract na rhizobium bacteria huku kwa michanga nini hivi zinasaidia nitrogen fixing the soil in legumes. So flavones, apigenin, luteolin. Sawa? Haya. So tunaenda tupige summary tena hapo juu, tunajua mmechoka. Hata mimi nimechoka, but we'll do it. So tume appreciate these subgroups and Tannins, flavonoids, ndo tunaenda kwa flavonoids sasa. Sawa? Tukasema anthocyanin ina contribute to the colors. Unaona hata hapa umepigwa Rastafari, red, green na yellow. Kwa pia carrots hii inatumika carotenoids ni kwa carrots. So anthocyanin tumesema ni ukiona tu fruits zenye ziko na makalakala hivi sema anthocyanin. Anthocyanin, so tumeona pomegranate ni poa sana, especially it has maybe aphrodisiac properties. So we have seen examples hapo mafruits nini, and then tukaona hizo fruits ziko na property gani. Tumesema ziko na antioxidant property which is hepatoprotective, anti-inflammatory, and then also in a serve protection against cancer. These are some of the examples of those nani. So anthocyanin tukaenda flavonoids tukasema the difference between flavonoids and the anthocyanin tumeona hapo juu ni flavanol haina the positive hapa, positive charge, but for anthocyanin iko na positive charge. So kwa flavanol ndo tukaona pale epigallocatine yenye inapatikana kwa green tea, yenye tukasema iko na properties kama antioxidant na cardioprotective, na also inasaidia community na longevity. So ukitaka kuishi miaka mirefu kabisa, after this discussion, go and take green tea. Usiweke sukari, piga green tea na maji moto, utaishi paka dunia ishe. So and then also iko na diabetes property, anti-diabetic, inasaidia na hypertensive patients, patients with they are suffering from cancer na inflammatory diseases such as arthritis. Sawa, hiyo tumemaliza flavonoids. Then tukaenda kwa flavonoids. Sawa, flavonoids tukasema quercetin, allium sativum, onion, mama kibanda pale akipiga quercetin inakusaidia na maini mbaya sana na pia cancer. So now tuko kwa flavonoids. So kwa flavonoids tumeona iko na apigenin and luteolin which ziko fiti sana. They act as signaling molecules which induce the node factors. They interact with the rhizobium bacteria in the soil, and you know that these rhizobium bacteria zinasaidia nitrogen fixing proteins in legumes, so zinasaidia mbaya sana hizo, si mchezo. So flavones now. Flavones sasa hapa ni from hapa guys that take over. Thank you so much. Gauss, if you are around, please, you can take over from flavones. So maybe as he prepares to take a cup of water or a glass of water, we can just do a summary again once more in this sorry. Phenolic glycosides. Just remember phenolic glycosides. Remember the name. Remember the time, and remember the hour. So plant phenolics, tukasema simple tukaenda benzoic acid derivative, cinnamic acid derivative. Benzoic acid derivative hapa tulipeana salicylic acid, tukapeana gallic acid na valinic acid. Tukakuja hapa kwa cinnamic acid derivative, tukapigana hapa tukasema inaitwa curcumaric acid yenye inapatikana kwa some of the vegetables, and then kuna tukapeana sapinic kama inaitwaje. Yeah, we'll just confirm hapo. Then tukakuja complex plant phenolics, tuka appreciate flavonoids peke yake. Kwa hizi flavonoids tukaona anthocyanins, tukaona flavones, tukaona flavanol, isoflavanol, but sasa guys atatake over from there. Haya, so cinnamic acid hiyo ni kwa nani? Kwa cinnamic acid derivatives tumeona cinnamic acid, caffeic acid na curcumaric. Tukakuja kwa complex tukaanza na flavonoids tukasema kuna different categories. Tukaanza na anthocyanins, tukasema ukiona tu frutini iko na red color, nini hivi ma red color, ma violet, nini jua ni anthocyanin yenye inasaidia na antioxidant properties pale nini. Tukakuja kwa flavonoids tukasema difference ya flavanol na anthocyanin, hii haina positive charge. Anthocyanin iko na positive charge, na flavanol haina positive charge. Flavanol tukapiga pale epigallocatine, green tea nini hivi. Tukasema ukipiga green tea after hii discussion unaishi maisha ndefu sana mazee. So kindly after this, if you don't have, you can buy tomorrow. Mpige green tea mbaya sana. So tukasema green tea myth, tuna discard weight loss. Sidanganye mtu apige green tea and then green tea tumesema ina increase to metabolism yenye inasaidia in weight loss. Ukichanganya na caffeine, you thank me later, but utalala. So tukasema another property ni iko na cardioprotective immunity na hiyo longevity. Sawa, ukiroast pia utapata kitu. So flavonoids tukasema quercetin, mama kibanda onion, ukienda kupiga onion pale unajua unakula quercetin. Iko na antioxidant properties yenye inasaidia na liver. Nikaambia guys please punguzeni pombe mazee, tafadhalini. Haya, so inasaidia na liver na pia iko na anti-cancer properties. So tukaenda kwa flavones, tukasema flavones iko na hizi mbili, apigenin na luteolin, yenye inasaidia na signaling molecule which induce node factors which interact na rhizobium bacteria which inatumika kwa nitrogen fixing adenoids in legumes kama mambosho ni nini hivi. Sawa? So I think hiyo ni summary nyingine kali sana, but in case of anything that you'll just ask. So I think guys, you can take over from here. Thank you so much. Would you want me to share, guys? Ama you'll share?
Wacha ishare ndo nisikusumbue sana.
Thank you so much. Tunataka tu kama nyinyi Kenya.
Welcome.
Nikibreak niambie, my internet is a bit shaky tonight. Haya. So Stano has covered the major classes of flavonoids, and so there's nothing much to add. The major classes have been covered. So there's the last two classes here are the flavonoids. Structure wise, I won't dwell on the structure, because let's be honest, nani atakumbuka hii structure board exam. So flavonoids, they have this antioxidant. Okay, generally, whenever you think of flavonoids, as Stano was saying, think of antioxidant activity. That's the one thing you can never go wrong with flavonoids. Ukiulizwa tu which of the following is a function of flavonoids, if there is antioxidant, just put antioxidant. Okay, you just see most have antioxidant activity, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and liver protective effects. Yeah. So moving on to isoflavones or isoflavonoids. So isoflavones, these are unique in terms of their pharmacological action, especially this genistein, daidzein, these two, genistein, but genistein is the main one. And with isoflavones, when you think of isoflavones, think of soybeans. They are found in the highest concentration in soybeans. So isoflavones, they are unique in terms of they protect against specific cancers. The first one being prostate cancer, and the other one breast cancer. Number 3, endometrial cancer. Like you're seeing, these are cancers of the male reproductive tract and also the female. Okay, and how do they do this? Specifically for the male reproductive system, this genistein is a phytoestrogen. It's a phytoestrogen, and a phytoestrogen in simple terms simply means an estrogen that you get from your diet or from your nutrient. Maybe Chai can define it better, because he doesn't take phytoestrogens. Maybe he knows a better definition. Chai.
That's good enough.
That's good enough. Thank you. Yeah. So, and now let's go to prostate cancer. Prostate cancer, we know testosterone is one of the culprits for prostate cancer. And one of the treatments for prostate cancer, or it used to be, but these days not so much, is estrogen. Why? Because when estrogen is a lot in your body, it will inhibit production of testosterone. So this is how genistein, or rather these isoflavonoids, work to prevent prostate cancer. So you can tell your older relatives, we know prostate cancer from 40 and above, you guys should get screened. Yeah, so soybeans, you can always advise your patients to take soybeans. The older patients, tell them, take soybeans. It will reduce their chances for prostate cancer. Then the other thing, it also reduces the chances for breast cancer. And for breast cancer now, it's not a different mechanism. It's the mechanism we've been talking about when we're talking about flavonoids. They are antioxidant, they are anti-inflammatory, and then some specific stuff on inducing apoptosis of breast cancer cells and also endometrial cancer cells. But isoflavonoids, take-home message, high concentration in soybeans. They protect against prostate cancer and breast cancer. Yeah. So I guess that's it for flavonoids. And to summarize, as a whole, if you are just asked what are the functions of, what are the uses of flavonoids, you can always say antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. You can never go wrong with those two when you ask the uses of flavonoids. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Yeah. So moving on. Now we can move to the other class of phenolic glycosides, which is coumarins. Right? Coumarins, they will also be called furanocoumarins or furanocoumarins. Now, going back to organic chemistry, I hope you remember the structure of coumarin. Not coumarin, of furan, right? Right, furan was just that oxygen, 5 carbon, and a double bond, right? That was furan. So these coumarins there, the other name for them are furanocoumarins. And they have that name, furanocoumarins, because you'll notice that if we came here to the structure of a variety of coumarins here, you'll notice there is this furan there, right? There's this furan, like you can see the furan in a component in them. So again, coumarins, first thing is that the other name is furanocoumarins. Sometimes these guys, they just confuse you and to try to trick you. So coumarins, the other name would be furanocoumarins. Then they are found in plants and can exist both as aglycons and as glycosides. Aglycons and as glycosides. We know aglycons, they don't have a sugar molecule or moiety. Like I think all of these are aglycons because there's no sugar moiety that they have. But most important part of coumarins, or most testable part, is the fact that they are anticoagulants. That's the most important part. They are anticoagulants. They inhibit synthesis of vitamin K dependent factors. They inhibit that synthesis of vitamin K dependent factors. So that's the most important part with coumarins. they are anticoagulants, or rather, they are converted into products that are anticoagulants. So the other thing, we go to solarants. Solarants, even from the name solarants, we saw this when we were talking about psoriasis, right? We were talking about psoriasis. And we say solarants, what they do is they increase sensitivity to UV light. That's why we are using them for psoriasis. They increase that sensitivity to UV light so that you can treat psoriasis. So solarants, psoriasis, that one is just straightforward. Solarants, psoriasis, yeah. Then before we go to quinone, now so far we've covered coumarins. We've seen two major things under coumarins. That is what? Their anticoagulant effect, right? Interfering with synthesis of vitamin K dependent factors. And number two, solarants are under coumarins, the furanocoumarins. And they are used for psoriasis because they increase sensitivity to UV light. And you know the UV light comes in and inhibits that keratin proliferation and all that. We'll look at psoriasis baadaye. Yeah. They are commonly found in these plants, this family, Rutaceae and Umbelliferae. But you don't need to memorize that. Just know coumarins, anticoagulants, and the solarants are in there. Now, jumping on and going to quinones. Quinones, they are unique in terms of even not even the quinones themselves, or rather the naphthoquinones. Why the naphthoquinones? Because vitamin K is an example of a naphthoquinone. Yeah, so vitamin K is an example of a naphthoquinone. That's why naphthoquinones are unique. They have antibacterial and anti-tumor effects. Now, here I just want you to remember to relate them with number one, the fluoroquinolones. And we know how fluoroquinolones work. They interfere with DNA synthesis, right? So they have that antibacterial effect and also anti-tumor effect. Antibacterial and anti-tumor. So we started with coumarins. Coumarins, we saw two things: anticoagulation and solarants. We've jumped to naphthoquinone. Naphthoquinone, we have seen vitamin K, a good example, and the other thing, antibacterial and anti-tumor effects. Now we go to anthraquinones. Anthraquinones, we had already mentioned even anthraquinones when we were talking about color. When Stanu talked about color, that anthraquinones would be responsible for that red color or yellow, brown, orange, you know. Anthraquinones are responsible for that. So we've seen two molecules that are responsible for color. The first one was the anthocyanins, and now the second one is anthraquinones. Anthocyanins, color also, and anthraquinones, we've seen it being responsible for color. Same as the coumarins is that they can either be free or they can occur as glycosides. Remember, when they are free, it means that it has no sugar attached to it. But as a glycoside, it means there is a sugar and a non-sugar moiety. There's a sugar and a non-sugar moiety. Now, for anthraquinones, majorly here, there's a specific one we'll mention, and that is Senna. This is the unique one, or rather, this is the one even it's in on our shelves. Senna is even produced by Cosmos and as a treatment for constipation. Produced as a treatment for constipation. The Senna anthraquinone, remember Senna. Senna being used as a treatment of constipation. Yeah. Then Of course, excessive use of anything that is to treat constipation will result in diarrhea, and even now your colon can be messed up. Yeah. So we've looked at, we started with coumarins, we said anticoagulation. The other thing we've noticed, Solaren is under coumarins, right? Then we jumped to the anthraquinones. Jump to the anthraquinones. What is it? Wait. First we naphthoquinones. Naphthoquinone, what did we say? It's unique here. So vitamin K falls under naphthoquinone. And number 2 and 3, they have antibacterial effect. Remember fluoroquinolones, they are related. And number 2, anti-tumor effects. Then we've now covered anthraquinones. We've seen a unique one is the Senna. That's the one that is mentionable. Senna, used for treatment of constipation. Then now we are moving on to the lignin and lignans. Now, when we are talking about plant physiology, there is one specific area that we mentioned about lignins, and that was when we were talking about the xylem. The xylem is, lignin is a major component of the xylem tissue. What was the xylem doing? Transporting water and nutrients, hormones. Yeah, I believe you remember some of the hormones. So lignin, and just as a recall, it was a key component of the xylem cells. It was a key component of the xylem cells. Now, for the lignin and lignans, or rather, even for the lignin, there's one that is pharmaceutically, oh, not one, there are two that they deserve being mentioned in this discussion, and that is the etoposide and teniposide, and the one used for treatment of what's the epipodophylotoxin. These are the important lignans. These are the ones that deserve being mentioned. The good thing from the name, you can tell podophylla, podophylla, like you can relate. So etoposide and teniposide, we know these are anti-cancer agents, right? These are anti-cancer agents. Then epipodophylotoxin, we use it for treatment of warts. Yeah, so these are the two lignans that deserve mention in terms of pharmaceutical importance. Epipodophylotoxin, used for the treatment of warts, and etoposide and teniposide, used as anti-cancer agents. They are used as anti-cancer agents. For the lignin, we appreciated the fact that we saw it in the xylem cells. That's its unique thing, just in the xylem cells. Then finally is the things we've been mentioning. So today we are talking about, we just started with glycosides, but we focus more on phenolic glycosides. And we remember the structure of phenol, right? It's a benzene attached. So phenolic acids, we said, from which pathway are they made? They are made in plants, especially in the shikmet pathway. That is where we make our phenolic acids from, and another thing that the shikmet pathway makes is generally it's the aromatic amino acids, the 3 aromatic amino acids, the tryptophan, the tyrosine, and the phenylalanine. And then phenolic acid is derived now from more of tyrosine. From the structure of tyrosine, they are more related. Then we saw under phenolic acids, they were the simple ones and the complex ones. The simple ones, we had these two, benzoic acid derivatives and cinnamic acid derivatives. Benzoic, we appreciated which two? Acid, and the other one was the salicylic acid. Stanojo salicylic. I don't wanna. Where on any anyone who was listening. Then okay, for the cinnamic acid derivatives, we've seen fumaric acid, caffeic acid. Those are the two we've seen. Then lignan. For lignan, there is one lignan we've said two deserve mentioning: the epipodophylotoxin and the anti-cancer agents, etoposide and teniposide. Etoposide and teniposide. Yeah. Coming to flavonoids. Flavonoids, we've take home message from flavonoids. We said if you ever asked at gunpoint, flavonoids, you say antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. You can always throw in that they are also anti-tumor agents, that they have a role to play against the tumor. We saw the various examples. Quercetin. Quercetin, remember allium. Quercetin, we said with the onions, right? Green tea, and then anthocyanins, we saw color. Anthocyanins, color. The other place we've seen color here is under this classification of what? Anthraquinones. Anthraquinones. So if you ask color, anthocyanins, anthraquinones. Anthocyanins, anthraquinones. Yeah, those are the unique ones. Yeah, I believe that is it, unless someone has something to add at this juncture. Or a question, maybe you've seen in the exam, something like that. If there's nothing to add, we'll start tannins at 9 p.m. Yeah, at 9 p.m. we'll start on tannins. Else you can, maybe, if you have something to add, now is the time. Tannins are short. Tannins are short. They'll take us like 10-15 minutes. After that,
Something to add for the lignans is that they're also phytoestrogens. So like isoflavones, lignans or lignin, one of them, they're phytoestrogens.
let me just share that here. Let's just confirm if it's the lignin. I think it's the lignin, but I'm not sure. It's the lignans. Yeah, it's the lignans. Also, lignans are phytoestrogen. Thank you, Hiral. Thank you, Hiral. Yeah, lignans are phytoestrogen. Chai, what was the other place we saw phytoestrogens? In soybeans. The isoflavones, the genistic, that name, banner. Yeah, let me display it. Yeah. Genistay. Yeah, genistay. That's the other place we saw it. Yeah, meanwhile you can be seeing the payment details.
Naona amejitolea kufanya curtain raiser. Na Christine.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a duet.
And the next. Sorry. Shrina will even take you through Tannins. Thank you so much.
Just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah,
First 2
we're
minutes
even starting at 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Sawa, we can start.
Yeah, sure. Well, you'll share the screen.
Yes, I'm sharing the
okay.
screen.
Christine has texted me. She says she has some MCQs on flavonoids. After we are done, she'll present some MCQs. Thanks, Christine.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Hiya, why can't I see? Okay, guys, I think you can just share. I don't know why my thing is not opening. It's refusing to share.
I share mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, I can do it. No problem.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
You can see my screen?
Loading.
It's yet loading.
I can see your name. I don't know. Have you projected your name? Yeah. It's fine now. Yeah, nice.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'll be taking you through tannins. And we've seen that tannins fall under the phenolic classes, and it's one of the complex plant phenols. So I'll just take you through the main points. Yeah. So tannins are naturally polyphenolic compounds that are found in various plant tissues, and they're mainly known for the astringent taste and have a wide range of biological and industrial properties. So tannins usually bind and precipitate with proteins, and they're not only plant chemicals. Yeah. So there are two main categories of, you can divide tannins into two groups: hydrolyzable tannins, that means it will undergo hydrolysis, and condensed tannins, they are also known as proanthocyanidins, and they are basically polymers of flavonoids and are usually present in foods like grapes, apples, and cocoa. Note that it is soluble in water. Yeah. When we say high molecular weight structures, they are pseudotannins, meaning like not true or rather fake tannins. So that means you can, when you're doing the test, it will not give you the color. An example of the test is gold. What was it? Gold bear's test.
Gold beaters test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gold beaters skin test.
Yes, gold beaters skin test. Yeah.
Yeah.
So biosynthesis, again, it's from the shikmic acid pathway, either hydrolyzing it to form the hydrolyzable tannins, or it undergoes the condensation reaction to form condensed tannins. Distributed everywhere, almost in all the parts of the plant. That's the bark, wood, fruit pods, leaves, roots. Yeah. And also note that it's most abundant in unripe fruit. Tannins, they're used as commercial dyes. The tannin test is the gold beater skin test, and the quantitatively it's by absorption on the standard hide powder. Again, astringent properties, so it basically binds to saliva and other digestive proteins. Antimicrobial, so it prevents decay. the chemical properties, they're polyphenols. So they generally have O dihydroxy or O trihydroxyl groups or a phenyl group, meaning they'll have two hydroxyl groups, three, or a whole phenyl ring. So they have a higher molecular weight compared to alkaloids, and they also form colloidal solutions with water and are non-crystalline. So if you see an acidic reaction, it's due to the the presence of phenol. And I said before that it's soluble in water, alcohol, glycerin, but insoluble in organic solvent. But there's an exception of acetone. Chemical reaction. They'll form precipitates with gelatin and alkaloids, and they're precipitated by copper, tin, and lead. They'll have color reactions with ferric chloride, which will give bluish black. Potassium ferric cyanide with ammonia will give the deep red color. The gold bearer skin test. Now, this is just on tanned fresh skin of an animal, and it's usually the intestine of the ox. Then you rinse it with distilled water, treat it with hydrochloric acid, and then after a few minutes, you'll see it turning black or brown. You can also use 2% solution of phenazone solution that is prepared with sodium acid phosphate. The functions of tannin: source of energy, they are protective in terms of antiseptics, they function in respiratory activity, and acceptance of many foods and beverages like tea and cocoa. This one it's more of black tea. Black tea has more of tannins, and green tea has, did we say flavonoids? What did we say for green tea?
Yeah. I think it was flavonols.
Flavonols, yeah.
Yeah, flavonols, yeah.
Yeah, with the A, flavonols. Yeah. So this I've said. Okay, yeah, hydrolyzable tannins is again either gallic acid or ellagic acid, and they'll form gallitannins or ellagitannins. I don't think we can. I don't know if we should remember an example of each of them. But anyways, if you're told to give an example or allergy tannins, eucalyptus E, and pomegranate, all these gelatannins, you have the Chinese gals, the Turkish gals, all these gals are from galatannins. Condensed tannins do not have glycosides. They're related to the flavonoid pigment and have the flavin 3 all. So an example is catechins that is found in green teas. They are not readily hydrolyzed to simple molecules, and they do not contain a sugar moiety. This condensed tannins, when they're treated with enzymes or mineral acids, they're polymerized or decomposed into red color substances that is called the phlobaphins, and they're insoluble in water. And it gives the brownish red color. The condensed tannins again it will be synthesized from the shikimate pathway. Wow. Yes, that one. I said they are also known as proanthocyanidins. again are responsible for the astringent taste of wine. Yeah, an example of condensed tannins from the barks, you have the cinnamon, the wild cherry, cinchona, willow. Now, for this willow, I had seen a question somewhere. Just a minute. It had something to do with aspirin. I think aspirin is derived from this willow, if I am not wrong.
Yeah. Willow bark. Yeah, it's true. It's
Willow
true.
bark, yeah.
Yeah,
So there was a
yeah.
question somewhere, and the answer was aspirin.
Yeah, kitambo though, but I think they stopped.
Yeah, they stopped, but yeah, it's the source of that salicylic acid.
Yeah, so in case if you are asked a question, we can do that. Roots and rhizomes, crameria and the male form. Flowers, lime. Seeds, cocoa. Leaves, hawthorn and tea, especially the green tea. Tannins, yeah, they're derived from cinnamic acid and they have a low molecular weight. Sorry. The true tannins have a higher molecular weight and the pseudo tannins have a lower molecular weight. And they do not react to the gold beater's skin test. Example, gallic acid, catechins, and I think that's it from my side. So in terms of medicinal use, they can be used as anti-inflammatory properties and astringents. So they can help in this in sore throats also, and also they are used in the leather tanning and foods and beverages like wine flavor, the texture and aging potential. It's also used in water purification to remove impurities, color and organic matter. I think that's it from my side. Gaius or anybody wants to add anything? Oh, also it's cardioprotective. So according how we've seen today, plant phenol, the main uses is anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, cardioprotective. Yeah. That's it. Guys, you want to add anything?
I have a question, Shrina.
Yeah.
What's the spelling of that? What's the pronunciation of that last word there?
It's the same question somebody asked me sometime. Ipekanua. Ipekanuna. I don't know. As long as you know how to write. As long as you know how to write.
Okay. But yeah. For tannins, yeah, it's that straightforward. Just yeah.
I'll send you guys the MCQs for tannins on the group.
Kindly.
It has the answers. So.
Yeah, so just know the two classes of tannins. There's the condensed and the hydrolyzable. Condensed, no sugar moiety. The hydrolyzable has a sugar moiety. That's the major thing. Otherwise, unless someone else has something to add, believe that ends our discussion for today. Yeah, Matata. Okay. Don't know why I go to any. Stano, anything to add, maybe to summarize? Olympia or Liz? Hey, Liz, you know you are our past paper. You're the one who's seen all the past papers. Perhaps you have something to add.
I have nothing. But thanks for the presentation.
Thank you for listening. It's you guys that make it happen. Yeah, you can. We can live at our own pleasure.
At your own pleasure or risk.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be discussing. What will we be discussing tomorrow?
Resins and the cardiac glycosides. Can come
on. Let me confirm.
Please, I don't know who is in charge of uploading those videos. Please share the morning videos.
They'll be shared tonight. They are currently uploading. If you guys could buy me bundles to upload them faster, I would really appreciate. I'm using my neighbor's Wi-Fi and this guy. Yeah, so tomorrow, yeah, we'll be doing resins, saponins, cardioactive drugs or glycosides, yeah, and other steroids. Resins, okay, resins will be a bit short. Nothing much there. So yeah, saponin people, you can start preparing. You may even start earlier than your time. Have a lovely night. Tupatane Friday. Concord, Shrina, I haven't gotten a feedback from you, and you are supposed to be our guest of honor.
You want me to come? I'm not sure if I'm around.
We'll come for you. Hiya.
That's okay, you can come. But I'm not sure if I'll be around. If I'm around, I'll come.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Who's the host so that the recording is not long? Christine, just end the meeting, please, so that the recording doesn't go on for the people who have slept, like Kinje Kitile Ngwale. She's already asleep.
I end the meeting for all.
Yeah, because you are the host. Click end meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.